Let's kickstart our very first discussion on taxation refunds with Amarpal Chadha, partner for People Advisory Services with Ernst and Young. Mr. Chadha, thank you so much for joining us on The Money Show. You know, a lot of our viewers may have received their income tax refunds in just a matter of a couple of weeks. For many cases, especially if it's a simple case like that of a salaried person, that's how efficient, I suppose, the income tax department has gotten over the last couple of years. However, there may be a few exceptions out there who still may not have got their income tax refunds if they are liable to get one. That's if their income tax paid is more than the income tax liability. So start off with what steps you recommend those individuals could take to sort of contact the income tax department to find out why they may have not yet got their income tax refund.
Sure. Thanks, Mubina. So I think it's pretty simple now, the way the tax refunds work. So as you rightly said, some people would have already received the refunds. It's been almost 3 months from the time the returns were filed. So if you've not received a refund till now, you could do 2-3 things straight away. First, you should have your own e-portal login. So please go to the e-portal, which is your income tax portal with the income tax department login that you would have. Log into the website and see the refund status. Once you log into your account, you will be able to see all your past assessment years where you filed your tax returns. If there is any issue in any of the returns, you would see it in that status. If the refund has been issued, that will also show in that. If the return has been put on hold or is under processing due to any reason, that will be reflected in the portal. So once you see the portal, and that's the first step, and if you see there is any adjustment that has been done for the past year, you would get some clarity and reasons why your refund has not yet been received. But in case it shows that the refund has already been processed and you have not received the same, what you could do is you could write to, there is a concept of a SBI banker, there is an email ID easily available, you could write to them to check the status for your refund. So really you don't need to physically or through email contact the income tax department at this point of time. First check the status online. Write to SBI banker to find out if refund has been processed, credited or not credited. In case all of this doesn't work, in a few weeks from now you feel no, I've been told that the amount has been credited, I have still not received it. There are 2-3 ways in which you can get in touch with the income tax department to get clarity. There are social media handles that are available through which you can reach out to the tax department. That's one way. If all of it doesn't work, government has a concept which is e-Nivaran, which is like a grievance redressal concept, which you can write to the e-Nivaran authority, which is mostly authority to redress any complaints about any of these matters and ask for clarity. But that's the last step. I am hoping that the first few steps, unless your return is really picked up for an audit, which is a scrutiny, these steps should get you the refund in your hand.
Mr. Chadha, is there any way that, assessees, individuals can actually check the status of their return and consequently their refund status on the income tax website? Since like you mentioned, most of the things have gone digital mercifully with the department. So is there any way that I can know the status of my refund, of my income tax return on the IT website?
Yes, Mubina. So there are 2 ways. One, you can log into the income tax portal with your own username and login address. You will be able to see the status of each of the returns process, refund issues or not. In case you don't remember your password and you have your income tax return that has been filed, it has an acknowledgement number. So if you go to the income tax website, there is a link to log in your acknowledgement number and know the status of the return, whether it's been processed or refund has been issued or not. So it's very simple, both the options are available.
Now, Mr. Chadha, there are certain conditions on the basis of which you need to fulfill to be able to get that refund. And I think I think that filing your return on the due date is an important condition. So is that the case? And if someone has, let's say, delayed the filing of their returns, is it that their refund amount will be lesser or they may not get a refund? Could that, be a deterrent for them getting the refund?
An excellent point, Mubina. So the starting point for claiming refund is filing your return on time. So obviously you need to abide by the law and file your returns by the time which is either July end or August end. In case you don't file within the extended time, there is a fee / a penalty which is levied for not filing your return on time, which is additional 5,000 rupees till December 31st, and then it increases to 10,000 till March 31st. So if you have not filed your return in time, you are liable for these additional penalties, but your refund amount net of these penalties will come back to you.
By the way, since we are on the topic of filing a return, Mr. Chadha, there's something called as a belated return as well. I understand that you have to file before the 31st of December. If you could explain that to our viewers a bit.
Sure. So the concept of belated return, if you don't file your return on time, and like normally it's July end, this year it was August end, you have an option to file a belated tax return. The belated tax return can be filed till the end of the financial year. So end of the assessment year following the financial year. So for the year ended 31st March 2019, you could file your belated return till 31st March 2020. But if you have not filed your return on time, you will pay a fee, a penalty of 5,000 rupees till December, and that will become 10,000 till March. So belated return possible, but with a fee.
So you will have to pay a penalty of sorts, if you could call it that, if you want to file your return, as the name suggests, belatedly. Okay, now the better part, and that is the interest that an individual does have the right to earn if in case the department gives a refund a bit late. So what's the interest component on that income tax refund, Mr. Chadha, that an assessee is entitled to get?
So, Mubina, before I get into that, I think the important point also to remember is that you need to find the time to file your return, because not filing the tax return is not only linked to refund, but it is now, as we all know, it is an offense under the income tax law. So if you have taxable income, you are required to file a tax return. If there are taxes payable more than 10,000 rupees and you don't file your tax return, actually you could have a prosecution being issued by the income tax department for that. So I wanted to clarify the point that you need to pay the taxes and file your return. If you file your return and claimed a refund, you will get an interest from the income tax department. The interest will depend upon the rate that is fixed every year, could vary each year to year. This year it will be around 6%. The tax rate which you pay, see there are two interests. One is what we pay to the tax office, which is 1% for every month for delay. From the tax office you get a refund back along with interest. And when this interest is paid to you, the interesting part is your form 26 AS, which is the statement of your taxes, reflect the refund and the interest amount both in that statement.